Morning, guys.
Morning.
How's everybody this morning?
Okay. Alive, so it's a good day. I got out of bed.
Thank God for the world that Brian got out of bed, right?
Hey, if I didn't, I'd be 6 foot under.
Okay, guys, integrity. We're going to continue with that all month. There's a case study I'm going to read to you, and then there's some questions after that. So, Ken, a commercial driver, was excited earlier this week to see that a new account was added to his route. When he...
Sorry. I forgot to hit the volume. Get the award. I pulled a Jim.
Am I keeping you up, Mr. Seipel?
I'm so sorry. I thought I had that volume on.
Okay. Anybody else have their phone? Everybody else got their phones on mute? Okay, I'll take that as a yes. Ken, a commercial driver, was excited earlier this year. Why don't you read that?
Got you laughing too hard. Ken, a commercial driver, was excited earlier this week to see that a new account was added to his route. When he arrived later that morning, he opened the enclosure to the new stop and realized that the gate was difficult to open and impossible to open properly. To service, it wasn't windy that day, so he reserviced the customer and in the post-trip lane let his RM, Joe, know about the situation. As he is talking to Joe and explaining the situation, he sees Joe pull out a pad of paper and write the customer's name down. Joe asks Ken if there are any other concerns with the stop and commits to doing a site visit the following day. The next day, the site is short-staffed due to a call-in, and there were 2 customers' complaints that Joe had to follow up on. Want me to read the questions? Or?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Brian.
You're welcome.
So in this scenario, what do you think happened with the original enclosure problem?
It probably got damaged when he went to service it because no one was able to do a site visit.
Okay. So now they're asking for a site visit after the fact. So why would they ask for that site visit?
Because the guy had to go back there and check it again, get the garbage. Some sort of damage.
Okay. So remember, in the scenario, the route manager, Joe, told the driver that he'd go the next day and do the site visit, but then 2 call-ins happened. And it's all under assumption that Joe didn't make it back out to do that site visit. We're assuming that.
Right.
Okay. So what actions would show you that Joe is acting in a way that supports integrity and value? What would Joe do to support or to use his integrity if that situation happened?
Oh, he is a route manager, so he's on salary, so there's no reason he couldn't go there after he left the office.
Okay, there's 24 hours in a day and 8 days in a week, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what else can Joe do?
He could have called the driver and told him they didn't make it over there.
Okay, thank you. Who else can he call?
Customer.
Who else should he call, exactly? So ask for an example from the team that is similar. So who's got an example of where we followed through?
Trek North.
Trek North?
Yes.
What about it?
It was,
Way too small.
yeah, it still is, but they had, when you backed the truck in when they built the corral, you had 2 inches on each side of the truck and no entrance into the corral.
Okay.
Because the truck is blocking the whole thing. You would have had to climb over the top of the truck, down through the hopper, onto the can to get into the corral.
So how did that situation show integrity?
We had talked to them, and by the next day, they had hired a carpenter and actually said they were fixing it, and hired a carpenter to come in and put a door in so we could actually access it.
Okay, so how did we follow through to make sure that that happened? Next time we serviced it?
Next time we serviced it,
Okay.
they were good enough to
Great
even come
example.
out and tell us they had it.
So ask the team how they should show integrity in the situation if they were the leader. So in that particular situation with road manager Joe, how would we show integrity, Bob, if you were the leader?
I would have got it done, but he could have called the driver back and called the customer and checked up on it, could have did something. But he did write it down, so.
Remember, we're just assuming that he didn't get back to it because of the situation. It doesn't mean, I mean, that happens all the time, right, guys? We get call-ins, or our day changes from what our plan was originally. It changes.
Right.
So how do we still show integrity?
Always moving. Shifting steady.
So how do we always show integrity,
Always
Jimmy?
let them know.
Okay, follow through.
Communication.
Okay, have a great and safe day.